Hey, good afternoon, guys. So I previously made a video showcasing this SUNJOE electric dethatcher, and what I focused on in my last video is I focused on the power rake portion of it itself, and I focused less on, this is called the Scarifier. Basically this is going to be used more for like verticutting the grass, whereas this is going to be used for digging up any old thatch that's built up in the grass. And to switch these out, it's very simple. There's just two bolts right here. I believe these are 10mm bolts. Very simply, just take them out, and then you'll flip this around. You'll see how this is like a U shape. This will go inside of the channel that's down here. Just make sure that's pointed this direction when you put it in, and then you put the bolts in right here and here. So once you get those bolts out, just pull this up, and then this little edge right here will slide out of the shaft, and then you simply slide this portion into the shaft, flip this around, put your bolts in, tighten it down. So my last video, like I said, I focused more on this and getting rid of the thatch. Now that it's springtime, I need to open up my winter lawn so my summer grass can start growing, and so I'm going to verticut it, and I'll show you the results here. So I'm not sure how well you're going to see this on camera, but as you can tell, my winter grass is pretty much fully dried up and dying out, and there is a very dense blanket of old winter lawn here that I need to use the Scarifier on to open this canvas up and allow oxygen to get down to the soil and help that summer grass to start growing back. So what I want to do is I want to do a quick demonstration, and I'm basically going to just verticut like this 24-foot section. I'm basically going to go down, I'll turn around, I'll come back, and then I'll go down and I'll go down again. So this is only about 24 feet of lawn that I'm going to do, and you'll see how much thatch that I get out of this bag. And keep in mind, it's not a very big bag, and you will have to change it quite frequently. Not a big deal for me, but the alternative is you could take the bag off and then do it without the bag, and then it'll leave all the thatch behind the SUNJOE, and then you just go back and rake it up later. But that can be quite labor intensive, so personally, my personal opinion, I prefer the bag, and I prefer just to dump it. It's really not that big a deal. So that was one pass with the Scarifier, and you can see how it made these kind of scrape marks in the yard. Basically that's all there is to it. So I'll run over the yard a couple of times. Sometimes I'll make one pass up and then another pass overlapping it, or you could just run it back and forth like a vacuum cleaner if you really wanted to. Obviously the more passes you make, the more you're going to have to dump the bag. But as you can see here, this is all the dead thatch. This just builds up. It's not healthy for the lawn to keep that on there if you're trying to get the summer grass to come back. So this dethatcher's got a couple different settings. You can adjust this here. You move this up to this will be the lowest setting. And as you move it down, it raises this up, which creates a higher setting. And just adjust the height for however tall your grass is. And if you're wondering, this is the whole SUNJOE. It's all plastic. I don't think, well, except for the handle here, this is metal, but everything else is plastic, with the exception of, obviously the Scarifier and the power rake that go underneath it. Those are metal prongs. But it is very lightweight because it is plastic. It weighs just a little bit more than a typical household vacuum, and it is relatively small, so it's easy to hang up in the garage and keep it out of the way. I just have a couple hooks in my garage that I hang it up by the handle, and I'll kind of show you here. So forgive the mess, but this is all I do. I just hang it on this rack here, and as you can tell, it's up off the ground, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space in my garage. So it sticks out about 18 inches away from the wall. And that's measuring from the wall to the rear of these tires here, or the rear of the wheels. So anyway, that's the Scarifier, and hopefully this one was helpful for you. Thanks for watching.